Hey, welcome back everybody. Listen, I want to take you on a journey today. I bought Canadian Hot Tubs 3 years ago, and when we bought the company, we recognized a significant amount of dysfunction in the company and things that were holding it back. And we decided we were going to completely rebuild the company, how it manufactures, how it sells, how it services customers. And we're now finally into a really great place where revenue is growing, products are being produced, costs have been significantly lowered, and we're almost into profitability. It took that long to do it. In this episode, I'm going to walk you through the whole thing. I want to talk to you about how to buy a business, what to look for, where the real value is, and then how you can turn a business around and start scaling it. Now, I'm going to use Canadian Hot Tubs as the example for this, but the things that we're going to talk about could help you in anything that you're trying to do. We're going to get into it right after this.
Hey, my name's Ken Dunn, and I'm a real estate investor. I want to welcome you to the No Money Real Estate Podcast. On this show, I'm going to interview elite level real estate investors from all over North America, and I'm going to help you to see one thing that all successful real estate investors have in common. They built their portfolios without using a dime of their own money. I've got a portfolio of $300 million in real estate. That includes resorts, apartment buildings, commercial buildings, and I've built the entire portfolio without using a dime of my own money. Real estate is a business that anybody can get into, but the strategies that those tight real estate investors use to build massive portfolios have been kept secret for decades. Now, because of this show, I'm going to reveal them to you. So let's get started.
All right, let me start off by telling you a little bit of the story, and then I'm actually going to take you on a tour of the facilities and show you exactly what everything looks like today. So we bought this company 3 years ago, and the reason we bought it is because it fit so well into our ecosystem. At the time, we were pretty well their biggest customer, and we didn't even realize there was any problems or anything. So I own a short-term rental business. We have 10 different short-term rental properties that are killing it, that are literally booked at 80 and 90% and making lots of money. And there was a couple things that we did there early on when we got into short-term rentals that really took those short-term rentals to the highest levels. The biggest thing we did was added spa amenities to each property. So when people are going to stay at a short-term rental property, they're going for a reason. A lot of times it's rest, relaxation, just getting rid of life for a couple days, and that's what we recognized. So we came up with a combination of a hot tub and a cold plunge and a sauna that we call a mini Nordic spa, and we put it on a couple of our properties and bookings went through the roof. So then we started adding it to all the other properties so we could get everything working the same way. And one of the secrets to that was not just going out and getting any old hot tub. We wanted to have something that looked aesthetically pleasing, that was unbelievable, and we chose Canadian Hot Tubs. The hot tubs that Canadian Hot Tubs makes are the highest end, the most beautiful hot tubs. And the company is 50 years old, so it's literally one of the oldest cedar hot tub manufacturers in North America. And everything was going well. And then during that process, as we were ordering tubs, we hit a bump in the road, and it was with the delivery of the hot tubs that we were buying. So we bought a hot tub from Canadian Hot Tubs, and it was supposed to be sent to us within 4 weeks. 3 months later, we were still waiting for it. And I knew there was something going on. Now, I'm not gonna be the angry customer that just starts yelling at them, "Where's my hot tub?" Because I knew they would wanna get it to us. So they must have been having some type of internal issue. So I made arrangements to come down here and talk to the owner of Canadian Hot Tubs, who I had a bit of a relationship with. And I literally just sat him down and I said, "Look, what's happening? Something's not going right in your business. You know, do you need money? Are you stuck in some type of production issue? I want to help you because I want my hot tubs faster." And he looked at me and he said, "Ken, the walls have ears." And so we went and met somewhere else, and he explained to me that he's just trying to get out of it. He'd owned the business for about 10 years. He was an original sales guy with the company, and he basically bit off more than he could chew. He didn't know what to do, and he didn't have access to a lot of capital to make the changes and get things right. So we came in, we bought the business, we bought it for $1 million. They were doing about $60,000 a month in sales at the time. So it was a really small company, but Obviously, they've been around for 50 years, so they were doing a lot right, and they had an amazing product. That's what I saw. So because of where it was, we got a really great deal on it. Then we came in here, and I got to tell you, I'll do another video sometime maybe about what you need to look to, how you do due diligence if you're thinking about buying a business. But I want to really focus on what you do once you own it, because that's what we did. So when I bought the business, I decided that for the first 3 months, I was just going to study what they were doing, why things were going wrong. And I was right about the money thing. They definitely were short on money. They didn't have the capital to do this properly. So we went in and we studied it for 3 months. We didn't touch anything. Although right away I could see what we were going to have to touch. After 3 months, here's what we realized. There was complete dysfunction. They weren't really manufacturing. They would get other companies to manufacture all the little pieces, manufacture all the wood that goes into the tub. So mill it and bring it down to size. And then they would put these tubs together. They could only make about 2 or 3 hot tubs per week. And I knew that if I came in here and created a proper sales system, I could scale sales. That means selling more hot tubs, but it would be just selling more hot tubs into complete chaos, and it wouldn't work. So I started out by spending all my time rebuilding the production process. We brought everything in-house. We bought new equipment. We bought trucks. We bought forklifts. We bought milling machines, and we redesigned our capacity. So I started that process. Then it became to people. I hired an amazing production manager who could manage that whole process, and we started rebuilding it. The centerpiece of what we did in the rebuilding process is we literally went out and bought our own milling equipment. When I started looking for this milling equipment in Canada, I found that it was going to cost us hundreds of thousands of dollars. So we went to the manufacturers in China and we bought the milling equipment from China and brought it in, and we paid $15,000 for it. When we started actually, instead of getting somebody else to do all of our milling, when we started ordering just the raw cedar 2x4s and doing the milling work ourselves, it brought our cost down by 20%. And that worked out perfectly. Then we started building a sales team. We had one salesperson at first who started doing really well. When I knew I had the right person that I could take and turn into a sales manager, then we started hiring more people. Now, to give you an idea of how long this takes, we bought the company 3 years ago. We only started hiring more salespeople in January of this year, so about 7 months ago. And every month, as we've started to scale, we're making more money. Last month, we did over $500,000 in sales. We literally took the business from $60,000 a month to $500,000 a month. Now, as you're scaling, you gotta be very careful, right? Because the way we redesigned the production process, our costs are going up as well. We got more people working over there. We've got more complications to it, whole sets of other issues, but we were making more money now. Unfortunately, and this is pretty normal, the costs to increase production were killing the sales. So we weren't profitable yet, but we were on the right track. Now we're actually getting into profitability. Where we sit today, we have 4 salespeople, we have another office, we've separated where everybody works. We've created more systems. We have an amazing president that runs the overall company that I mentor and work with. And now the final steps are in place. Now that we have everything working properly, we're building an entire ERP system, because the way we've been working and the way this company was working, everything was on paper. The sales guys would write out forms, they'd pass them on to somebody else. It would get confusing. There were hundreds of orders on paper. We're now creating an ERP system, which we're launching in 30 days. And the ERP system is going to digitize the whole business. So when a salesperson gets a lead and closes a sale, they open up the ERP system, they charge the credit cards and create a profile in the ERP system with the order. Once the credit card is processed and the prospect turns into a customer, it goes to our president and our finance team that makes sure all the financing is set up properly. It's integrated with our bookkeeping systems so that everything works well together and we can move forward. The ERP system also, once the president and finance approves everything, it goes into a queue with our production manager. Our production manager looks at all the orders, determines the priority of the orders based on the commitments that the salespeople made, and then when he's ready to get something made, he assigns it to the production team on the floor. Now here's an amazing part if you build an ERP system properly. There's literally about 100 different little items that go into the manufacturing of any hot tub. So the ERP system, what it does, it has all the inventory and all the suppliers of inventory right in the computer system. And when our production manager assigns a hot tub to be produced or a cover to be produced, it automatically reduces all the inventory so it can start tracking. And we put codes and we put rules inside of the inventories that say the ERP system recognizes that the amount of thing, like the steel bands we use on our hot tubs, if it's down below a level, the ERP system knows it takes 90 days to get more of the steel bands in. It knows what the minimum amount of quantity is based on the amount of tubs we're doing. And then it gives a message back to the president, who takes care of all the ordering, and says it's time for you to order more steel bands. And it's really amazing the way that it's happening. Hey, let's go on a little walk and let me show you exactly what's going on here. So my office is in the management side of the house with the salespeople. So if we turn this around, you're gonna see we had one salesperson there when we started. Now we've got 4 salespeople, and they're all doing an amazing job. And this is our showroom over here. And you can see in the showroom, we've got our finance team down in that corner. We've got all of our salespeople. We've got products in. We have lots of customers that come in and actually look at the tubs before they buy, and it's a proper showroom. It's all set up the same way, and you can see how everything is in here. What we're gonna do now is go over and look at the production. So we're located here on Gage Avenue in Kitchener, Ontario, and it's a pretty industrial area. It's a strip mall. We got lots of people that come in and see us here. This area I'm gonna take you over to, let me just turn the camera around again, is the production area. When we bought the company, this was our only office. So sales, management, orders, inventory, it was all happening in here. And it was part of the problem. There just wasn't enough space for what they were doing. But we fixed all that, and we've got things working right now. So let me just take you inside of our production studio. Now we've got, when I bought the company, they had 5 employees. We have 28 employees now. Out here, we have our customer service team. So when people are looking for replacement parts or something goes wrong, they work with the 2 people that run our production team. That guy there is that fabulous production manager I was telling you about. He takes care of all the orders. He's always on his computer and making sure things happen properly. But this whole area out here, when we bought the company, was all the management side of things. The salesperson was in here. They weren't using it properly. Now you can see what we've turned that into. And if we go out into the production area, you can see our little employee area. We have all kinds of systems, including checking in and checking out for work. And now we've got an entire team out here on the floor. And you can see what's happening. So as what we're looking at now, this is a massive swim spa cover that's being made, and the guys are taking care of that. We have another cover on the back. So basically our big swim spa covers get made exclusively on this table, and then our smaller covers for our round hot tubs and everything get made on the back. And then over here, we're making actual hot tubs, and everything is going well together. Over here against the wall is our milling equipment, our CNC machine. And the guys are working on actually milling the 2x4. So now, when we change the process, we get all the 2x4 wood that comes in. We cut it to the exact size here, and this is what this is. This is the unmilled size of 2x4s, and then the guys put it through the milling equipment, and it comes out completely milled on the other side. Now obviously this is a production studio, so a lot of noise out here and a lot of stuff going on, but incredibly efficient people working together. Everything is made by hand here at Canadian Hot Tubs, which is fantastic. And then over here, we're making hot tubs. They start off by making the floors for the hot tubs, then they use the milled wood, and you can see what our machine does. It makes, these are called staves, they're tongue and groove. They work perfectly together. We've got somebody else that's drilling holes in the staves for where the piping goes, and everything is going great. So when I think about where we're at today and why it's working well, there's a couple things that I see and that I totally understand about this process. Number one, people. People are always your most important resource. So we literally have an amazing manager who manages our entire production process. And then that manager reports to the president of the company, and the president of the company is managing all day-to-day operations. I'm the CEO of the company, obviously. So my job is to make sure that everything stays on track. I meet regularly with the operations manager and the president to make sure we're on the same page about what the production costs, what we want them to be, what percentage of revenue do those production costs have to stay into. And then I get monthly reports where I can verify that everything is staying on track with everything. Now, I've got an amazing president who does the same thing. So very, very rarely do I ever see something that isn't exactly where it's supposed to be. And I personally have the expertise in sales, so I've created all of the marketing systems to generate the leads, working with my team there, and then I do all the mentoring with the salespeople. So friends, that's how it's happened. And now that we're at this level, when we're building the business, we're always thinking about other things we'd like to do, other things we'd like to change. And the rule that we have is that we're not going to add a new product or add anything different until we get all this system working properly. Because if we were to start adding new things before everything is working properly, we're only going to be importing more dysfunction into the equation. So now that we're at this level and things are starting to work out, now we want to talk about scaling, and we want to talk about the most efficient way to do it. We're doing more partnerships with manufacturers in China to try and keep lowering down our production costs, and now we're looking at distributors. We're looking at people that want to open up Canadian hot tub stores, that want to sell our products and want to help our customers with the installations. And that's really the secret to the whole process. Now, as always in these videos, I make this whole process sound really freaking easy, but there's a lot of work to it. There's a lot of understanding. There's constantly going to be mistakes made. You've got to learn how to pivot through the process and get things going right. But if you have good people that you're working with, and you have people that know their jobs and are really serious about doing amazing work with their jobs, you can solve any problem, you can scale your business, and realize all your dreams.